Long live the emperor. May he live 10,000 years. May he live forever. You may all rise.
Haha, that's right. I am Wu Zetian, the only queen of China who has been rumored for thousands of years. Of course, the name, Wu Zetian, was given to me by my good third son, Tang Zhongzong, after I died. It added a shining label to my life. Speaking of which, what is my real name? Alas, this is a mystery, and history books don't give a definite answer. However, some skit programs are quite funny. They directly call me, Wu Lao and say that I am the second child in the family, thanks to the ranking. Okay, then let's make a guest appearance in the role of Wu Lao for a while.
Back in the day, I was just a young talent under Emperor Taizong of Tang, but in the blink of an eye, I transformed into the Empress of Emperor Gaozong of Tang. This crossing of boundaries is beyond my imagination. How much charm does it have to be to make both emperors bow to my feet and revolve around me? Hee hee, do I have to say that I am the ancient version of the heartthrob?
As for the rumors that say I won't let go of my own biological child for the sake of power, oh hey, listen to this ancient saying, if you don't benefit yourself, heaven and earth will destroy you. There is also the saying, the most poisonous thing is women's hearts. It seems that as soon as successful women appear, they automatically match these high-end customization labels. Actually, it's just that our lives are too exciting, making others envious, jealous, and resentful. Wow, she's become the emperor. She hooked up with the new emperor before the old emperor died? Wow, she used to confuse the old emperor, and now she's confusing the young emperor again. Oh, she even killed her own biological children. She's really a promiscuous and cunning woman. These things have been used as examples of palace intrigue for thousands of years. Speaking of the rumor of the 3,000 faces in the harem, oh my goodness. How big a harem can accommodate it? I guess this needs to be the super doubled version of Emperor's Back Garden. From the old emperor to the young emperor, you speak as if I were playing the emperor cultivation plan in the palace. Actually, I just followed the trend of history and gently pushed it. Besides, the Wu Zhou dynasty that I founded almost wiped out the entire Li Tang royal family. When it comes to changing dynasties, we cannot be too lenient. But after I passed away, the descendants of Li Tang still showed me great respect. As for why my Wu Zhou dynasty couldn't be passed down, hey, this matter is complicated and related to favorable timing, location, and people. It's like playing a game. Although I am skilled, there will always be updates to the version and changes to the game rules. What is the truth of history? Let me recount it in detail. Let's talk about the story of my birthplace first. So far, there are 3 versions that people have talked about the most. The first version states that I was born in Bingzhou, which is now Shaanxi province. The second version says I was born in Chang'an, which is now Xi'an City, Shaanxi province. The third version claims Lizhou as my birthplace, which is now Sichuan province. These 3 places are all trying to attract tourists and compete for the tourism resources brought by celebrities, claiming that I came from them. It is said that in the 7th year of Tang Wud, 627 AD, my father Wu Shiyue took my mother Yang on a boat ride on the Zhengtan in Lizhou. My mother fell asleep leaning against the side of the boat. When the boat reached Heilongtan, she had a dream in which a black dragon jumped out of the river and flew directly into the cabin. Soon after, the black dragon flew out again, soared into the sky, circled the cabin, and then flew towards the West Mountain. At about the same time, a phoenix flew over with colorful clouds, flying and chirping above the cabin, and finally flew away towards the East Mountain. When my mother woke up, she found out that she was pregnant, and later I was born. Does it sound cool? If you ask me whether this is true or not, and why there is such a magical legend, it's of course for the throne. My father was not an ordinary person, he was a dragon. As a dragon's child, I later became the true dragon emperor. This plot of conception through mystical means is not uncommon in Chinese history. In ancient times, the mothers of Shang Tang and Liu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, also encountered a dragon by the river and, after exchanging a few casual words, hey, became pregnant. There is a convention in Chinese history that whenever someone wants to become an emperor, the true dragon emperor, they must invent a dragon as their father. However, people at that time actually believed in these stories and listened to them with great interest. Take Li Shangyan for example. In the 5th year of the Dazong period of the Tang dynasty, 851 AD, he followed Liu Zhongying to Zizhou to make a living. When passing by the river pool in Guangyuan, he suddenly remembered that I was born there. Inspired, he wrote a poem titled, Written at Lijiu River Pool. The poem is as beautiful as a painting. But listen to the last line. When there is no one to send the swallows meat, the rain fills the empty city and the fragrant leaves wither. It makes me sound so desolate, but in fact, I was busy governing the country at that time, so how could I have time to feel sad? He also added a small note at the end of the poem, saying that the river pool was the place of conception of the Golden Wheel. Golden Wheel? Hey, that's the title, Golden Wheel Holy Emperor, that I self-proclaimed after ascending to the throne. Look, the story of my conception through mystical means was widely spread among the people at that time, even more popular than today's gossip news. Where did I come from exactly? Lijiu? Bingzhou? Or Chang'an? Oh, speaking of Lijiu in Sichuan, it has an indissoluble bond with me. After all, my childhood paradise is where I grew up happily. Speaking of Chang'an in Shaanxi? Oh, that's my factory settings, my birthplace, you know. Talking about Bingzhou in Shaanxi? Hee, that's my root. My ancestral home is Wenshui, which is now called Wenshui County, Shaanxi Province. It sounds quite cultural, right? Rise up. The historical records also mention that our Wu family is a minor clan in Wenshui County. What is a minor clan? Don't get it wrong. It doesn't mean that we are common people who are no different from others. We are somewhere between an anonymous person and a prestigious family. They are the awkward noble aspirants who stand on the edge of civilians and aristocrats. What is that aristocratic family? Don't think that having a large family and a large number of people means having a noble family. They must be true aristocrats, just like the high-end VIPs in ancient times, who were born with a halo. Before the Sui and Tang dynasties, those high-ranking officials were mostly inherited from these aristocratic families, known as the 9-rank Zhangzheng system. However, I really don't like the 9-grade Zhangzheng system. What should I do if I don't like it? Of course, I need to change it. After I take power, I will change it to the imperial examination system. Hey, this will be lively, and ordinary people can also rely on reading to counterattack and change their destiny. Before, if you weren't a nobleman and wanted to become an official, it was difficult. Unless you embraced the thighs of the nobles and built good relationships with them, there was only a tiny chance. Speaking of our Lao Wu family, although our ancestors have also served as small officials for several times, they are all relatively insignificant and have some prestige in the local area, but they are still far from being truly prominent. Especially my father, Wu Shiyue, who is the fourth among the 4 brothers in the family. The other brothers are all honest farmers, but he is a dream-driven, farmer entrepreneur. He doesn't want to spend his entire life toiling in the fields, so he's thinking about how to become wealthy and a nouveau riche. So, according to the revelation in the book, Typing Guangji, my father Wu Shiyue started a lumber business. Yes, you heard me right, it's simply selling wood. Oh, the livelihoods in this world are as diverse as the concubines in my harem, too numerous to count. Tell me, why did my father, Wu Shiyue, specifically choose the lumber industry? Haha, isn't it because he had a sharp eye for business opportunities? Back in the day, Emperor Yang of Sui was a true construction maniac who was bent on turning the world into his amusement park. His palaces were constructed to be more luxurious and grandeur than one another, almost rivaling the heavenly palace. Isn't this emperor's hobby simply a money spinner for us ordinary folks? Do you think that if the emperor becomes fascinated with listening to music, the opera troupe will become popular? If the emperor becomes a movie enthusiast, wouldn't the directors and actors be counting their money until their fingers ache? Another example, if the emperor becomes hooked on playing badminton, I reckon the badminton manufacturers would be overjoyed with orders flying in. So, when my father Wu Shiyue saw Emperor Yang of Sui's actions, he was filled with joy. Isn't this like the god of wealth coming to our door? With a slap on his thigh, he exclaimed, let's follow in the emperor's footsteps. If he builds palaces, we'll supply the wood. Back then, without the steel and cement we have today, houses were built entirely with wood, which was a hot commodity. My father is also a man of action. He set off immediately and traveled long distances, managing to transport wood from all directions to the eastern capital of Luoyang. After several trips, guess what? We directly entered the ranks of the wealthy. Overnight, our family became a combination of wood and gold, shining brightly. This story tells us that in business, we must follow the trend. Whatever the emperor likes, we should do it. We can't go wrong. Haha, when it comes to my father's warriors, counterattack, path, it's really ridiculous. Do you know? He, an old man, was originally a genuine farmer who was a model of facing the yellow earth and turning his back to the sky. However, he turned around and became a wealthy man with a fortune. Normally, this should be a happy event, but why has it become a level decline? My wallet is bulging, but my identity is playing bungee jumping, from being a local tycoon, farmer, in the field to a copper stinky loser, rich person. What's going on? Has the world gone crazy? Why did farmers become wealthy and downgrade? I'll tell you next time.